WWA All-Star Championship Wrestling. Indeed, a very exciting hour ahead of us. We're going to be seeing a newcomer today, Pretty Boy Chris Champion out of Malibu Beach, California. He's going to be in the first match today, plus a lot of other professional competitors such as Ted Marshall, Billy Mack, Dr. Red Roberts, and a host of others. We would like to remind each and every one of you that live action All-Star Championship Wrestling will be coming to the Miami area in the very, very near future. And of course, my colleague Bruce Snyder alongside of me will be having an interview today with a very interesting gentleman. He's a member of our technical crew here at the studio, Pete Letterberg, who's also the president of the Wrestling Fans International Association, which is very interesting. And Bruce, I know that you're looking forward to that segment.
Right. It's a convention which is going to be taking place sometime in August 17th through 20th. I'll be going up there. Pete, who is a member of our technical staff, is the executive director. They have it every year, and this year it's in Memphis, and it's a good time for all wrestling fans, one and all.
Well, that's very, very true, and of course there's millions of wrestling fans throughout the United States and Canada, and of course all over the world, and it's certainly a pleasure to have an individual such as Pete Letterberg, a member of that association, and we're certainly looking forward to hearing from him. But right now we would like to say that a couple of weeks ago, as you remember, Wild Bill Williams was on television taping the show. He got into a rather obnoxious incident after the showing, and he was indeed suspended. And we would like to say that that suspension also carried a $5,000 fine along with a 5-week suspension, and he will be unable to wrestle at all on All-Star Wrestling or anywhere else in the country for that matter. So we would just like to point that out, and we're going to be back with some real wrestling action.
Opponent, weighing 215 pounds from Malibu Beach, California, Pretty Boy Chris Champion.
Well, there you have it. Ted Marshall going up against Pretty Boy Chris Champion out of Malibu Beach, California. Of course, Ted Marshall from Melbourne, Florida. This should be a very interesting match indeed. Both men just about equal in size. I would say that Chris Champion definitely has a small height advantage over Ted Marshall. Of course, Marshall, the former United States heavyweight wrestling champion. And it's certainly a pleasure to have him here on the program every week. The referee removing Pretty Boy Chris Champion's robe from the ring, and the bell has rung. And a nice takedown by Ted Marshall on Chris Champion. Of course, as Chris Champion, a newcomer here to All-Star Championship Wrestling, are certainly looking forward to seeing him in action. We've heard a lot of comments about this man. Full body slam applied by Ted Marshall on Chris Champion. I've heard a lot of things about this man. He's out of Malibu Beach, California. Very, very rugged competitor. Champion up against the ropes. Marshall breaks cleanly. Of course, Ted Marshall, he's a very clean, scientific type of wrestler. He doesn't believe in cheap shots and that type of thing. A nice takedown by Chris Champion, and into a head scissors applied by Ted Marshall. Of course, Ted Marshall, ever since I have known the man, he's always been a proponent of the scientific form of wrestling. A nice takedown by Ted Marshall on Chris Champion. Ted Marshall maintaining the advantage over Champion. It was very interesting to note about Ted Marshall. We said a while back that despite his size, he's only about 220 pounds. At one time, he was a weightlifting champion. He was able to bench press nearly 600 pounds, which is a phenomenal feat in itself for a man that's only 220 pounds. Extremely powerful individual. Of course, right now, still maintaining the advantage over Chris Champion. We know very little bit about Champion, outside of the fact that he is a competitor. He did run track in college, and he also played, believe it or not, wide receiver in college. But right now, it appears that Ted Marshall is giving Chris Champion all he can handle. crowd here today in our television studios. Of course, I'd like to thank all of you out there in the viewing area for the letters and postcards that we have been receiving throughout the past few weeks. And Chris Champion rubbed the boot laces right across Ted Marshall's eyes. A lot of cards and letters and calls coming in. A lot of people asking when wrestling will be coming to their area. Nice takedown by Chris Champion in for the pin. The count, 1, 2, and Ted Marshall powers out. Forearm applied by Chris Champion on Ted Marshall. And unleashing with what appears to be judo chops. And another nice takedown by Champion on Ted Marshall. Once again, down for the count. 1. Well, just the count of 1. Chris Champion applying the boots to Ted Marshall. So far, this Chris Champion has certainly shown that he is a durable individual. He can certainly hold his own against the former United States champion, Ted Marshall. Another flying mare applied by Chris Champion on Ted Marshall. 1, 2, and once again, Marshall powers out. And Marshall begins to unleash a hard left forearm. Well, both men trying to take each other down. Wait a minute. 1, 2, and Chris Champion escapes. Apparently, both men going for a takedown at the same time. Ooh, and a headbutt right to the midsection of Chris Champion. Champion down, 1. Champion powers out. And it would appear that, yes indeed, that Chris Champion's foot was on the outside of the ring rope. Nice takedown by Ted Marshall. 1. Only the count of 1. Very difficult for each man to be able to pin the other in this match. Both men very evenly matched, indeed. Marshall maintaining the side headlock on Chris Champion. And another nice takedown. Oh, we'd like to say happy birthday to Chris Waller from Miami Beach. She turned 13 today. Happy birthday to you, Chris. And a full body slam by Marshall on Chris Champion. And Marshall in for the pin. And once again, Champion powers out. Marshall in for a pin again. And then near collar and elbow, Champion being pushed against the ropes, and Marshall into the turnbuckle. Champion arm whips Ted Marshall across the ring. And wait a minute. 1, 2. Well, only the count of 2. I thought for sure that Ted Marshall had Chris Champion pinned. And Champion up for a body slam on Ted Marshall. 1, 2, and once again, Marshall powers out. Indeed, a very even match here. Marshall in for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's it. The count of 3 on one Chris Champion out of Malibu Beach. So for the official,
6 minutes, 40 seconds, and the winner, Ted Marshall!